And there's some that say, well, we want 20,000. And that work out to 80 cents an hour. And so no matter how you sell yourself, you sell your pride, you sell your voice, and you sell your rights. I come now that you have decided to vote. And to vote based on what you think and not based on who is spending. To why you should vote for the PNP. I am happy to have supporters of the PNP. But I'm even more happy to have members of the PNP. And the People's National Party is not just a political party. The PNP is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that understands that you will toil to the very end to ensure that your child is better than you. Because my father used to load cement on a truck for about 16 hours a day. Now I work for about 9 hours a week. And I make about 8 times the money that he made. But he ensured that I was better than him. And if my son is better than me, and his son is better than him, then one day we will be the Matalans, and the Stuarts, and the Issas. Money don't change we are money changer. You should vote for the PNP, because the concept of equality is a concept of God. As Michael Manley said once, that if I should check it and understand Christianity as it should be understood, that there is one God and that He's good, then God as the Father will not want to see some children starving and some children having all the food that they can have. He will not want to see some children with all the opportunities and some children with no opportunities. And so you should vote for the PNP, because we are fighting the battle of God. Yes. And the battle of God is a fight that we should always fight. You should vote for the PNP, and this is in particular for the young people that said they wanted a change. And they got a change, but a change for the worse. You should vote for the PNP, because the PNP is the party of change, of positive change. And that change has been coming through history. You see, history is very important. Because if you know somebody is a liar and you hear that she tell a lie, you're going to believe it. If you know somebody as a thief and you hear them thief, you're going to believe it. Like how you know me as a man who stand up for the rights of the people, if you hear that I stand up for the rights of the people, you're going to believe it. And so historically, the People's National Party has always been the party for change. I start with Norman Manley, who brought to us political change. Because it was Norman Manley that brought independence. It was Norman Manley that said adult suffrage and universal adult suffrage. There was a time that you had to pay a certain amount of tax to vote. And my father tell me that if you own a bicycle, you couldn't vote, you had to have a radio. And I hear some people saying that they wish they were still under England is a disgrace. Because under England, black people couldn't even work in a bank. All the things that you're having now came because as a country we are free to make decisions as our own country. I come down to Michael Manley, which brought ideological change. When he said equal pay for women, if you should get equal pay, it meant that you're an equal entity. And I hear some women walking around about PNP never do nothing for them. There was a time that you used to work and work the same amount of time for less. It is Michael Manley that said no bastard down there again. And there are people that even now say bastard in a derogatory term. When they see you do something, they say you bastard. And it means that you don't even have a legal right to exist because your mother and your father never married. And Michael said, as a human being, you are equal. And that ideological change is why I'm standing here today to say that I'm speaking to people to want to be a representative of the people. It was P.J. Patterson that carried to us infrastructural change. When we look at the highways, I used to go to Westmoreland, which my mother is from Harbour. It took me 6-7 hours. Now it takes me 3 hours. And I read somewhere once that the road to development is the development of roads. But there is no government that built as much schools as P.J. Patterson PNP government. There's no as much hospitals as PJ Patterson's PNP government. There's no government that improve our airports and seaports as PJ Patterson's PNP government. And when I hear them say we have done nothing for 18 years, I say go out there and take the pictures, because we have evidence of what we have done. And they have doubled the debt, and they can't show any picture except Mike Henry House that him improved.
Don't stop the progress we're talking about here. Solid achievements. Open your eyes and you will see how we have improved.
I said to you, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all, that it is at this time that the most important change is coming. That's why it calls social change. And Portia Simpson-Miller will be bringing to us social change. Social change in the understanding that a street sweeper's son can become a doctor if he has the ability to become a doctor. Social change is the understanding that a woman from the poorer class can become the prime minister of this country. Social change is the understanding that a Rasta can go into parliament. I said to you that social change will be the most resisted. Because in economics there's a perception that resources are constant. And if we have one man with 7 oranges and one man with 3 oranges, the man with 7 will do everything to ensure that the man with 3 don't get any more. Because if you get 4 oranges, you'll then have 6 oranges. And the belief that Portia will bring that social change is resisted. And unfortunately, some people who will benefit from that social change are also resisting that change. There's a story in the United States about the Civil War. They have a thing that they call the blue against the gray. And the gray, it was a gray uniform, was fighting for slavery. And the blue, which was a blue uniform, was fighting against slavery. And God forbid there were some slaves in gray fighting for slavery. There are some among us now that are fighting against a change that is necessary for their own development. And it is a change. I come to you now to say why vote for Portia Simpson-Miller. Portia Simpson-Miller. I hear the new slogan, young people time. And I can't understand it because throughout the history of Jamaica politics, there have been many times. Yes. And there was a time where we said black man time. Yes. There was a time where we said woman time. Yes. And now they're saying young people time. Yes. And I wonder when it's going to be Rasta time. Yes. But most importantly, I also pray when it's going to be Jamaica's time. When it's going to be the people's time. Because all these times were explanations and descriptions of the politicians. And I'm saying, when is it going to be the description of the people? So that the policies are for the people. And when you talk about the times, all the people want was a change in outcome. And I know that because I analyze it. And I analyze it, and I see where when they say black man time, they say because white people mash it up. When they say woman time, they say because man mash it up. And now they say young people time because old people mash it up. And when they say Rasta time, they say ball and mash it up. But I'm saying what we want is a change in outcome. And we are hoping that demographics will change that, and that will never happen. The young people time is in policies. It's not in leadership. Because it is when policies come for young people that we will move forward. I tell the young people in the audience tonight that if it is young people time to lead, you are not involved. Because only 63 of us can ever lead. And so therefore young people time to lead only benefit me because I'm young. And because I'm close. But you that is not close and not known, it don't benefit you. And so I want to say young people time in the People's National Party is young people time to be involved. Because when you're involved, you can be involved in a school. You can be involved in a church. You can be involved in a community. You can be involved in your family. And 100,000, 200,000, 1 million of us can be involved. And when we say young people time, look at the policies of the People's National Party and you will see young people. Voting for Portia Simpson-Miller because she is the epitome of the people's time. I tell you that the truth is constant and consistent. That is why Bruce Golding never said the same thing twice. Because it's never the truth. And Portia Simpson-Miller is the truth. Because even when it is not popular to speak on behalf of the people, she has been speaking on behalf of the people. Even when it is not acceptable to speak on behalf of the people, she has been speaking on behalf of the people. Even when she is going to seem as she's going to lose an election because she speaks on behalf of the masses, she speaks on behalf of the masses. And therefore, when it comes to people's time, it must be Portia Simpson-Miller time to lead the country into the people's. I hear some people jumping up, but we love Portia Simpson. Yeah. I love Portia, but I'm not voting for her because I love her. I love my mother more. So if it was love alone, I'd say my mother would be Prime Minister. I am voting for her because I believe. You see, we have to understand that what they're saying is that we the people are speaking from a lower level of decision making. That we're speaking from emotions and not from brain. That we're speaking from the heart and not from the mind. And I'm saying to you that I speak from the mind when I say I support Portia Simpson-Miller because she's the truth. I speak from the mind because I understand that she has the greatest will, and those who have the will find the way. The last man that tell us that he had the way, he did not have the will, and so he hid the way, and therefore we have been lost since the JLP came in.
When the road is far up yonder, I've got to be there, alright. When the road is far up yonder, yes, I want to be there.
So we're going out there to vote for Portia Simpson-Miller. But I don't want to hang on to her coattail. I don't want to get into Parliament because Portia carried me into Parliament. I want to help her to get into leadership because I delivered my seat. And I said to all the people running here tonight, as members of Parliament, candidates for the People's National Party, that I will deliver East Rural St. Andrews. And I know